And welcome to Hearts of Iron 4. I'm your host, PPChoo, and today we're starting off our semi-release stream by doing a little bit of learning about the game. So, to that, I'm not really sure what exactly we'll be doing today. I haven't really been following up with this recently, so I figured we'd play a couple of... I'm just going to turn off the effect volume there. Anyhow, I figured we'd do a bit of a casual stream and just really kind of take a look at what Hearts of Iron 4 has to offer, play a few simple matches, and eventually I hope to do some more, serious matches in it. But for now, I figured we'd do something casual. Sad fate is that nowadays I'm working a quote-unquote real job and also haven't really had the time to fully kind of investigate this. So overall, I'm actually quite surprised. It's a gig and a half for Hearts of Iron 4. I think that's actually smaller than the predecessor games, and notably there seems to be only two scenarios. You either have the Blitzkrieg in 1939 where you get the 1936 start, so I think we'll go with that. It gives us a few years of peace before things continue, and you get a full suite of countries. I think from here you can also of course pick from the world map of interesting countries and things like once again, but from the looks of it, it is still limited to these two scenarios. There's no variants or anything like that. So let's see. Let's take a look at what interesting countries are there to start off with. I haven't actually taken a look at this so far, so let's see. France is all focusing on defense from the looks of it. Looks like all the different nations have their own little benefits here that kind of make them unique, which is pretty cool. And I'm just taking a quick look at some of these, and I think starting off we'll actually play the nice small country of Italy. I mean, that's always something that I'd like to do in Hearts of Iron 3, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we can do there. So I think, for the most part, we'll leave it on regular. We'll start off the game in 1936, and we'll really just play this forwards and see kind of where it takes us. Okay, so now I have to figure out the entirety of the HUD once again, but this should be interesting. It should be interesting to see how well this works. So let's see the basics of Hearts of Iron 4. Chances are is that if you're watching this, you probably don't need an explanation for that. You control a country in the years during and potentially after World War II, and you kind of really just see how that goes, how you can influence the turn of events, maybe things like that. It's all very, very interesting to kind of see the different progressions through that. Okay, so let's see. We can take a look at different map areas, different areas of supply from the looks of it. And from the looks of this is actually segmented into different regions of the globe now, instead of before, where I think at Hearts of Iron 3 was on a tile-by-tile basis. Take a look at states. We can take a look at resistance. We can take a look at different resources that different lands are producing. Let's see, diplomacy, how happy we are with different parts of the world. Italy starts off going at war with Ethiopia, so hence why they're marked at red. And we can also take a look at different factions from the looks of it. It's very, very, very neat how all the different settings kind of play into each other. And let's just take a look at some of these other map modes. Strategic naval, so I'm guessing these are kind of different regions that you can defend or not. And strategic air, I presume, does something fairly similar. So that's that. Let's take a look at the queue of things that we had to do. So we can research fourth technologies, we had to deal with that. We're at war with them. We have some free civilian factories, whatever that means, free military factories, which I presume we can build some tanks and things out of, free dockyards for ships, and some stuff about national doctrine, some air wings, and some divisions, eh? Okay, we require oil and rubber. I'm actually going to tab back to the resource map mode, and I want to see what Ethiopia produces. So they produce rubber. They produce 2 uses of that, and I think we need 3, so this will be a fairly minor gain for us, but nevertheless I think it'll be nice to have. Just gonna check what these little red dots are, but yeah, that's I guess kind of how that works. Sure. So let's get the first priorities down. So it's 1936, we have 4 technology queues to use wisely, and my oh my, they revamped the tech tree system. So your technologies are largely divided into land forces, naval forces, air forces, and some experimental stuff on atomic research for the bombs, and generalized industry things. So let's take a look at general progression of this. So, okay, so it goes by year. So by 1936, these are kind of what technologies were there historically, and by 1941, say for example, these were kind of the things that were there historically. So I think starting off, we will research synthetic refinery. I think that'll be pretty useful, seeing our need for oil right there. Going forwards from that, let's see. I think basic machine tools will also be pretty useful, just in general, getting more facilities for that. And okay, so we start off with these weapons and things like that. And I think we can just kind of tier these up as we go along. So for 1936 standards, we are alright, though we could research some support weapons, which I think might be nice. And let's see, what else? What else is there? And we could also get some things in land doctrine. So I presume these are kind of the extension from the third game. You kind of want to specialize in one of these 4 paths, I think. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty neat that they have all of those. And they even have the historical names for the different ship classes. I'm guessing that's kind of what that's all about, which is also pretty cool. I think we'll focus on grabbing some generalized. I really like this whole new support system. It seems pretty interesting how they have a whole bunch of these auxiliary units and they all kind of do different things. I think it seems to be a pretty promising element of the game. But honestly, for now, I'm not really sure what we should grab right off the bat. But I think a reconnaissance unit would be pretty useful. So we'll arbitrarily choose some some different uses like that, and we'll see really just kind of how that goes. Right, so let's take a look at some of the things in the new factory setup. So what do we have here? So it looks like we have some resource depots filled with resources at the moment, but I presume they'll drain as time goes on. And just want to check for one thing. I really do like the new map. Just zooming down, it looks really nice. It kind of has that, in my opinion, Civ 4 type of feel. So let's see. We can build a lot of different buildings. Build some more factories, maybe. Currently, we have 8 civilian factories currently building a lot of consumer goods. Okay. I think we'll perhaps get a new factory built there. Okay, so we have 20 factories. And the minute that we say, for example, build a new one there, that's going to use 1. Sure, let's go with that. I'm guessing our military factories kind of do the same type of thing. So we have about, let's see, 19 factories out of the bunch. This is all the equipment we're producing from the looks of things. And I think what we can do here is we can assign different production through the use of assigning different factories to these places. Sure. I really do like the fact that it gives you an actual count of these. It's kind of cool. I need to tab to my desktop for a second. I'll be right back. There we go. So let's see, with Italy being in its current shape, being short of oil and rubber, I think the main thing we want to really produce is, honestly, just a whole bunch of rifles. So let's assign 10 factories to producing rifles. That'll drain us of some of our resources, but that bumps our rifle production up to 51 per day. We can get a second, and actually, let's get 4 factories producing things inside this area, and let's just get a second factory producing tanks. Keep these areas, you know, fairly simple for the most part. So that's that. So it looks like, yeah, all of these things, they're in units per month or units per week, and the ships, of course, you know, generally speaking, slightly bigger, so they take yeah, quite a lot of time to produce. So I think we'll just inside this area blitz it down, really assign the 11 factories or however many we need, really. Come on, there we go. To blitzing down the first ship and really going from there. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool that they separate producing factories on land and sea. It's kind of cool. Okay, so I think this is kind of the... So these are Italy focus trees, so I think this is just kind of things that are meant to modify different play choices you have in different historical events. So to me, I think the first event that we want to do is Ethiopian war logistics. It looks like it'll add some infrastructure, adds a few naval bases, so presumably it'll give us supplies will allow us to yeah, go for that. Might have missed just the logistics situation for our glorious conquest of Ethiopia. We should make it our primary goal to try to equip that. Yeah, that makes sense. So we'll try to get that done. And let's see. So we have a tactical bomber unit, and we have some fighter units available at the ready, I guess. And I see. So you can get presumably an ace pilot to lead these. So let's take a look at how well they do in terms of ground attack. And this guy over here, the tactical bombers, have 3 ground attack, 10 strategical bombing, so they're a little bit better at that. Fighter planes have exactly 0 and 0, and these look like they're actually World War I planes. Huh. So that's kind of cool, actually. And I think I'll keep them just kind of steady for now. Here, so let's see, division designer. So these are the different divisions that we can change. Let's take a look at how these work. Okay, so they have a support wing, a combat wing, and we can add different things to them. And we can add different, what do you call them, different little bits there. We can get them to use different equipment, and I presume these will modify their different stats. So to that, I guess we'll train some specialty units. We'll get a couple of mountaineer divisions out like that. So sure. Missing production. We're not producing artillery right now, are we? Sure. Let's build some towed artillery. And let's bring this thing all the way up to here. And, you know, come to think of it, we could spare 2 factories for that, and we could add 2 so we get, you know, a couple pieces of artillery for our purposes, I guess. Okay. So I think that sets us up economically. Just going to take a look at some of these other things. So trade, we can see our different resources. We're currently producing exactly 0 units of oil, but we need 23. Producing a decent amount of aluminum from the looks of it. Not producing any rubber. We're producing a decent amount of steel, but we're starting to use up a lot of it because of our production and all. So that is kind of cool. It looks like the resources have been kind of, oh, I don't know, simplified down a little bit, but that's fine. Right, so let's focus on the war in Ethiopia. Let's grab all of these guys and let's make an army group out of them. And I guess with this army group, we can assign them a commander. We have a couple of guys here. They're all skill level 1, which I am guessing is not very high. So this guy's pretty good at entrenching. Not exactly, he's an old guard, comes from, I presume, World War I background. So he's not that great, you know, in the offense. But we'll assign him to this force. And now let's see. What can we do here? So they have in total, I guess, 18 units. These are the individual units there. And let's see. So we can... No, I don't necessarily want to unassign them. Hold the division, select half. Strategic redeployment, weight of the units, how many we have, change the template of them. So I guess we can Yeah, assign them orders for them to move with, right? So let's take a look at this. What can we do? So we need to draw apparently a front line for that, and I guess another front line for here. So that kind of sets up the border. And I think this is how you get the the AI to control all of this. Then we can make an offensive line. Divisions will be assigned a plan with an offensive line to try to take territory to move to their front line there. Fallback line, a garrison area. Okay, so this is, from the looks of it, more so for purposes of getting the AI to kind of do things. And let's see. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So we can draw the literal plans as to like kind of where our forces want to go. So judging by the looks of it, currently it wants our forces to swing over here and downwards. Sure. Ah, and I see. So that actually creates something like that for us. Cool. Some overview panels here, and we can unpause the game like that. Okay. Let's take a look at our units. One second. So we need to assign all of these troops some orders. How does that work? Select all units in the theater, and I think that assigns them to the tasks. Okay. Sure, we'll see what that does. Oh, that is the, it's the change from night to day. It's kind of cool. There. Activate the plan, and for these troops, I'm trying to figure out how exactly we assign them to a particular plan, right? You should assign some divisions to battle plans. Okay. How do I assign these divisions? Click to activate all of this. Yeah, we can try to figure that out in a bit. For now, let's see. Yeah, I don't really mind micromanaging a lot of the stuff, so we can get our forces to kind of move forwards like that. And let's take a look at what changes here. So these are, okay, so these are divisions in battle. These are experience modifiers. And let's take a look at, oh, actually, that's pretty cool. You can click on the little battle signs. So, you know, coming from Hearts of Iron 3, right? All sorts of different tactics that our people are using. The different skill leaders, the two different plans that our leaders are fighting with, the divisions that they're fighting with, and I think we have organization and strength here, all of their different values, kind of what terrain they're on, how big the fighting front is, and we should be having, we should be getting a benefit for having 60 divisions with 60 width out of 60, going up against 20 and 20, so they can't cover necessarily the same amount of land as us. So let's see. Press the arrow. I have pressed the arrow to activate that. Right click your divisions in the front to assign them to a front. Like right click them here? Or on the map. No, that moves them back. 1 second. I don't want you people to go over there. Let's see, right click to assign them. Right click to assign selected divisions. Oh, okay, so you just click on the icons on the bottom, I guess? Sure. Oh, that's a very familiar song. I'm gonna see whether or not I can actually turn off the night and day change right here. It's kind of annoying, being honest, how like if I do it really fast, it's gonna be kind of problematic. In the line on the map, it says 0 divisions. The line on the map. You mean like these lines? I think I've already committed these dudes to whatever they're doing, so I could change it afterwards, though. Or here, if I drag all of these guys... Oh, I see, so it brings up the entire army group at one time. And then right-click to assign to the select divisions is necessary to order the creation of battle plans, making it possible to organize movements of large units of troops in one time. What are these lights all about? Oh, I think they're just decorative. Okay, sure. World tension history, huh? Ah, there we go. That's the night and day loop. What does this do? Toggle the unit icons color on the map. Sure, allied battle plans. We can take a look at that as well. That's actually kind of helpful to see, but what exactly do we want to do with that? That's another question. Oh, I see what you mean by it saying no divisions, eh? So where exactly is the attack line order? Control click to assign selected units to this group. Sure. We're probably continuing Warhammer with a couple of how would you say, upgrades in a bit. I wonder if our ships can provide some bombardment for us. Doesn't look like they can. Okay, and let's see. So we gain army, navy, and air experience. We have some convoys to carry things. 4 of them used for supply. The rest do that. So this is our total factory count. I presume at one point you can convert civilian factories to other types of factories. And let's see. So you give it a nice little breakdown in terms of manpower, political power, national unity, things like that. So that's pretty cool. Sure. Let's take a look at how these fights are going and what type of benefits we can get. So yeah, we can get attacking from multiple directions. I think these tactics will just change, really, you know, kind of dependent on whatever. Really, let's take a look at some of them, how well they work out. So they increase either shock, or let me hover over one that affects multiple things. Okay, so some affect combat with, some do more or less damage, and I think the last icon here, means, what is it, tactics movement. So I guess how fast that little gauge swings up and down, eh? Sure. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Let's get these tactical bombers to move out now. There's an airfield over here. Do we just kind of click it and... okay, so they are en route to over here. Sure. And we'll see what we can do about fighting the air war when they get there. Okay, so that's how you kind of build buildings. Sure. Okay, so let's take a look at what we can do with these planes. So from what I remember, we can take these bombers, and I think we can issue orders somehow. Create new air wing. No, not necessarily that. Let's see. Not a fan of all these panels the game just kind of opens for you. Okay, so I think, do we just kind of assign them to a region? Is that how they work? Oh, I see, it's over here, sure. So right now, I guess it's East African region. All of these planes are assigned to assist. Radar efficiency, I guess the planes and the ground attack things working in the area. Fighters will probably never launch. I honestly don't think they have too many enemy fighters, so we'll just keep that as is. The tactical bombings are, I think, better at doing strategical bombing, but I'm not really sure whether or not we really need them to kind of bomb the infrastructure of Ethiopia. I don't really think they have much to begin with, so I think that sets things up. So you got some weather, you have the planes. I think the planes are running. All right, well, let's take a look at how this border type of deal works. So let's just get these divisions, and I think we've assigned them to the border for movement here. Sure. Keeps pulling those 5 units for whatever reason. Am I doing this right? Control click to assign. Control right. Oh. Whoops. I don't know why nowadays I just auto default when I hear click, I right click. I've got to say, they made something very, very polished here with how everything flows. Ooh, let's see whether or not we can entrap any of their troops around. Yes, perfect. Okay, so that's not bad. We managed to trap 3 of their divisions. Perfect. So, I think I'll honestly get our guys to stop the offense here. I'm gonna cancel this attack. We are currently losing. Is that it? So. Okay, it does work like that. I wasn't sure whether or not this is like, as in like 3% as in, you know, their offensive is going really poorly, or as in like 3% as in like our defense is going really poorly, but now I know. World news, what is this? Remilitarization of the Rhineland. This is, I suppose, the first step towards the end of the world. And yeah, so apparently we did some, you know, magically through the mechanics of game scripting, I think we managed to get a buff for our airfield and things like that. I guess that's the visual representation of our bombers going. Yeah, and the Spanish Civil War begins, things like that, good stuff. I think it would be nice if they made it so that we could actually scale the UI, because right now I'm under the impression it's a little bit big for like 1080p realistically. I mean is 928 by 1080, right? And this these side panels, in my opinion, they take a little too much space. But I guess the transitions are pretty nice. Alright, so let's take a look at this troop. They've reformed. What does this arrow mean? Okay, it means they're moving, I guess. What are these boats doing? Apparently we're moving shipping around, sure. And that's right, we're finished that, so we can add industrial effort to our stuff. Free civilian factories, because I think we built some more factories. And I was right, you can convert military factories to civilian factories and the opposite way around. Sure, that's pretty cool. I'm just going to try to end this war really fast. I want to see what happens when you take, say, for example, over a capital nation. So let's see. So it tells you all about their leaders, you know, kind of like what type of country they are. Liberty ethos, we can take a look at some of the tech they're researching, and this is, okay, how the relations work out. Sure, from what I used to remember, and, you know, like, I haven't played the Hearts of Iron games in a fairly long time here. I'm wondering, back in the day, I think if you took these capitals, you'd build up VP or something like that. Some research finishes. Okay, sure, some more tech finishes. I'm honestly not too worried about it. I just kind of want to see what happens at the very end of here. Oh my, our offensive isn't going too terribly well. There we go, now it is. Okay, so we are actually getting air support, that's interesting. Ah, it's a mountain zone, but there. Oh, okay, so that's what happens. So, I think how it works, where in this case, is that Ethiopia only has one victory location, and once you capture it, the entire city kind of falls down, right? So, yeah, I mean, we can turn Ethiopia into a puppet state and be done with it. So there we go, Lictor Ethiopia is formed. We get all of their dudes, and our forces kind of flee from their borders. So that was kind of a nice, you know, bit of an intro to the game, I guess. And our research is starting to roll through. So this is kind of cool. I'm gonna take a look at some of the other options that we have here in the meantime, and let's pause the clock while we're doing this. Right, so our factories aren't producing as fast as they should be because we have a lack of supplies in terms of trade. I wonder. I mean, we can have inactive shipyards, and I think that'll help us out on things such as that. So let's see, region air wing screen. Beside the top X, it opens the graph with air combat stats. You mean this thing? Sure. So let's see. Enemy troops bombed, enemy buildings bombed. I suppose how many planes are lost. That's actually kind of cool. Still though, this would be really nice if I could resize the game elements. I'm just going to check on that really fast. No, I don't think it's an option. Or zoom speed is map zoom. Sure. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Anyhow, we're gonna go back to the menu because I want to try some other things out. And again, you know, just in general, right? I mean, I don't have too much time to play video games nowadays, and that's kind of just the fact of the day. And to that, I haven't really been following the development diaries or whatever you kind of call them for the game. But let's just take a look at let's go for another run of the Ethiopian scenario, and let's just yeah, take a look at some of the stuff over here. So again, probably should take a look at, you know, kind of how the government systems form over here and what special bonuses you get for playing the different countries. So national spirit for Italy is the fascist party. We can start a war in no time flat, and we can send volunteer forces. Let's see, Vittoria Bodlita, we're probably butchering the pronunciation of that, but let's take a look at what this is all about. So if we were an AI, we would get an AI modifier. And okay, so I see some more stuff about justifying war, some stuff about national unity. Let's take a look at what the German Reich has. Some stuff about ideological drift, some stuff about planning and division organization, which is actually pretty damn important, so that's also pretty cool. Now let's see what Japan has. Factory bombing vulnerability, division recovery rate. Okay, I think we'll throw this out to a vote, really. Do you guys want to see kind of like a Japan type of deal, or an Italy type of you know, test run once again? Because for the most part, I mean, the rest of the countries are either a little big or they're, you know, it's 1936, so they're probably not going to be too terribly interesting. Okay, so some of these countries actually have that's kind of funny. The one for the US just says dislikes Germany. There's no tooltip for explaining what the heck it does. It's like you just know. Some of these have them, some of them don't. Alright, well, nobody has said anything thus far, so I think we'll go with Italy again, mostly because I'm not too terribly sure as to what Japan was doing at the time. I think they already had Manchuria, so it's a shame that we can't really see the war play through in terms of that. So let's go with Italy again. Right, and let's take a look at how we can get some things to play out here. So, taking a look at the tech tree once again, none of the tech really came through for us, so I think we'll go with support weapons. That's easy research, so let's get that done. Typically, like, to me, information's a big part of these games, so we'll have that. Definitely grab the synthetic oil. I think that'll be really important to from the time to come. And electronic research, where electronic mechanical engineering will take only a couple of days for a pretty decent tech boost. So yeah, like you know, not to, you know, bash on this a little too much, but take a look at how big this panel is. I mean, if you have the video in full screen, that is huge for what it actually kind of says, right? Right, so taking a look at this, let's take a look at how many factories we actually need. It looks like for the most part, I mean, in the previous games, I think, yeah, you would assign how much consumer goods you'd want to produce, but I think now it's just kind of set in stone. Yeah. And okay, I see. So you can use your trade goods in exchange for actual strategic resources. That's cool too. Let's see. I want to focus on rifle production above all. The tanks are cool, but Like, honestly, I don't think we'll produce enough of them for it to be remotely worth it. Can I, like, shift-click or something like that? Let's see, total need filled. Total need to upgrade has not been filled. I guess we'll finish building infantry weapons before anything else. So let's get that done. Free dockyards we'll dismiss right now. I don't want to do any of that. We're gonna get Ethiopian war logistics again, and honestly, I think we'll focus on just upgrading and replacing our troops above all. Right, so let's go to diplomacy and let's take a look at what we can do about kind of meeting some of the needs of everything here. So to the best of my knowledge, let's see. How do we do trade? Trade. Oh, it's not in here. Trade, there we go. I want to see whether or not we can trade for anything good here. Ah, okay, so we filter by resources over here. Sure. Let's go to... oh, I don't know. Let's go to South America and let's buy some oil from Venezuela. They have 92 units that they can spare. So, let's see. So each and every single one that we need, or... okay, so we can actually buy a decent amount of oil for the most part. And we can try to meet some of our needs by doing that. So that does that. And let's see, we can swing to Brazil and send a single factory off for that. Sure. Right, so that gets that stuff set up. Okay. So this time, let's actually try to use this war system, or whatever they have. Assign a leader, draw the fronts. Let's see, click on one of the borders to set a front almost the entire thing, sure. Set another front line over here, sure. Right click and draw an offensive line from the territory. Yeah, so I guess we'll do that. And I think we just take all these troops, and then what do? We click on the division line, 18 divisions army. And up inside the north here, there should be no divisions. We take all of these dudes, and no, we don't do that. We control right click, control shift click, control click, there we go. So we get 14 there, and here, let me redo this. Control click on that, 4 divisions. Does that sound right? Yeah, that looks right. So I think once we click to activate, that commences the plan. And there we go. Okay, so it launched the offensives for us. Yeah, for this game, I might get something to put a bit of a white background onto the chat so you guys can actually read that. Or alternatively, you can read it on the side of your screen. That also works too. So yeah, so far the combat there is pretty good. We have a whole bunch of fighters here. We can assign these to the East African region again. And we can get our bombers to do, yeah, ground missions there. So I think right now... well, there we go. Eventually they'll start flying runs. I presume it's because it's pretty early during things. Brazil wants some rubber. Oh, I see. Brazil actually ran out of trade to send to us. So... ah, and... okay, sure. I don't really know if we trained any infantry, but we'll do it. Free civilian factories. How many do we have? We have 12 out of 25, sure. In that case, let's build another... I don't know, I guess we'll queue up two military factories, one in Rome and one in Tuscany, just for the sake of that. Yeah, I don't really know why they draw another border here, but I think it's like to me the what do you call it? The system for the AI battle system for Hearts of Iron 3. I mean, I never used it. I thought it's kind of weird for the most part, so I don't know. Let's see. So enemy troops being bombed. Just a little graph for how much damage we're doing, I guess. Sure. And I think for the most part our economy is good. It'd be nice to tell where exactly the bombers are kind of actually hitting. Oh, okay, so I see. So they sometimes appear in that little box. Sometimes. Yeah, so there were 17 planes helping out there. Sure. And okay, so per region, we can see the aggregate statistics about, you know, kind of what's going on there. Sure. I don't really know whether or not this division was committed to the offensive or whether or not it's just kind of capped here. Sign to this order. This is 5A. Yeah, I can't really tell whether or not it... Oh, no, it is. It is. So when I hover over these borders, it actually shows. And when I hover even these arrows, I think, it'll show what units are supposed to participate in them? Okay. Pretty sure they follow these arrows in terms of kind of where they take the offensive, but... I don't know, for now, I mean, whatever they do, they can't really mess up, right? I kind of want to see the AI liquidate this pocket, whether or not they'll actually do that or not, or whether or not they'll just continue moving forwards. Yeah, it's been a couple of days. I mean, if they were going to, they would have by now. So let's liquidate for that, and let's take a look at how well the AI takes into consideration what we do. And you can see the little units disappearing there. There we go. Sure. So again, we can either puppet it or we can take the entire state. I want to see how much world tension we generate by doing that. Sure. So yeah, I guess we just took the state and we took it over. So let's take a look at what about shipping? How do they handle shipping inside the game? So these two formations, kind of carry our troops, I guess? So my question is, how do we exactly get our troops back to the mainland? Probably have some sort of naval group around here. So these are destroyers. There's some submarines, apparently. Ah, okay, so those two fleets are based there. These are more destroyers, more submarines. Okay. I'm guessing either they got rid of transport ships or they go with something a little bit simpler. So let's take a look at how we can do that. Okay, so you have a whole bunch of orders up there. That's right, we should probably start doing some more research and doing some more tech. Let's get mechanical computing, some more stuff to make researching a lot faster. Oh, you just click on the ports, eh? Okay. Sure. So let's see, what actually happens when that rolls around? Okay, so I guess... do we have to kind of get our guys to stack up inside a port town and then ship them over? So I guess everything works off convoys, which is good and bad. It definitely makes the transportation layer a lot easier. And ooh, we can modify our government. Sure, so let's see what we can do. Laws on government, limit conscription, limit all of these, partial mobilization. We can add some political advisors. Okay, so some designers, things like that. Cool. Military staff. Cool. Oh my, that actually gives us quite a lot of people. Let's just get this guy right over here. He seems pretty cool. We'll put them in power. Either way, we need more research. Sure. Some more tech. So I think, yeah, we just finished support weapons. That, I think, will... yeah, make us upgrade all of our troops again. That's fair. Let's see. I think with Italy, we might want to do the mass assault doctrine just to kind of see how that works out, because, you know, realistically, the stuff that we have, it's not exactly the best. But for now, I think we'll go with the radio, something like that. Gets us a little bit more reinforcement rate. I just want to really unlock the other side, the tech tree, see what it gives us, really. Okay, so now we're starting to shift all of our troops back. Sure. Yeah, I guess this is just kind of how things flow through here. So we just got a level of industrial efficiency, and we added a couple of factories, some civilian factories to our effort. And let's see. Huh, these only take 70 days to finish. That is really, really fast for what I think they're worth. Okay, so the Spanish War breaks out, and we can send aid or not. That's also kind of cool. Right, so let's see how we can send some aid. We have the entirety of these 17 divisions who are, you know, kind of straight back from Africa, and let's see whether or not we can redeploy them somewhere else, or send them to our allies in nationalist Spain, and we like them a decent amount. So let's send some volunteers, and let's see. Not 79 divisions. You have 0 divisions in your volunteer forces. Sent divisions will be removed for a while in transit, and they'll do stuff, and they'll show back up. Sure. So I guess we can make Army 1 here really fast. Go to the diplomacy once again. Click on nationalist Spain. Send some forces. Send 2 divisions, and yeah, I guess that fires them off. So they should disappear from our map, and I guess they'll do their thing. Stuff about the Olympic Games, sure. We can send some aid to them. And I clicked through that box a little too fast, but things happened. I'm guessing our troops arrived on their fronts, and then that's kind of why we are now seeing this map. And I see. So we gained some more industrial effort. I'm going to unlock a new research slot, which is, you know, the equivalent of getting an extra day, right, practically, of stuff. So, sure. And yeah, I guess we can get our troops to fight for a nationalist Spain like that. Cool. Now, what else should we do? Oh, that's right, we can choose doctrines for both air and things like that. I guess let's get some basic machine tools. Speed up our production a little bit more, so when we do need it, we can do some more things with that. And my oh my, we're starting to get a lot of factories for trade and all. Let's take a look at how we can, you know, deploy some troops here. So let's get these troops to deploy in Sicily. So let's see, training and equipment is at full, and okay, so we can deploy some more forces like that. Okay, so the equipment gets filled up like that, and then depending on kind of how many parallel lines we have here, all we need to do is just train these troops, and then we can start to deploy them en masse. It's kind of cool. Yeah, and if you guys haven't noticed, each day we gain some training for our troops deployed in the Foreign Legion over here doing their thing. Huh. Ah, the training's going to take quite a long time. Oh, perfect. Hey, we can produce synthetic oil plants now. That's going to be really, really handy dandy. Let's grab another level of that. At one point, we might just say, fuck it with the whole war thing and just solely produce oil for people. Yeah, but the Foreign Legion seems to be picking up some experience. They were trained units, and now they're starting to get up there. Let's take a look at some of these other guys, so we can train some more leaders, I guess, or add some more people to our list here. Let's get this war industrialist guy. He seems like a pretty cool dude. Right, and I think we researched, what did we research? No, not that. We finished binoculars a long time ago. Either way, we gained something decent, so we'll go with it. Let's gain some anti-air guns, and I have a feeling that'll be pretty useful as time goes on. Can't really tell how well the nationalists are doing, but our troops have been fighting this battle for a very, very long time. Speaking about these troops, I wonder, where is supplies being listed? So, okay, so you had to hover text to figure that out. Hey, there we go. New research slot, where we'll get anti-tank on the side of anti-air. And sure, Italian highways transfers us to oil. That's good. It's actually kind of neat to see. Our troops have been almost at full strength this entire time, putting down a lot of attacking pressure, while the well, Pablo something over here, he's his troops are steadily getting whittled down. He's doing about 2 damage, but he has like 20-ish to 15-ish defense, which I've got to say is a decent amount. So I think slowly but steadily we're making some progress there, which is kind of cool. Right, what else do we need to do? We need to make some artillery pieces and some fighter and tactical bombers, eh? Sure. So let's see, artillery. Okay, so that'll be filled in a bit. Wow, we need a lot of resources all over the place. Need some tungsten. The only place we can get that is from France, eh? For one factory, sure. What else? What else? A lot of technology is starting to become ahead of its time. Let's get some... So from fighters, we can get naval fighters and things like that. For us, is it really worth it? I don't know. Do we want to join the anti-Comintern pack and be a part of the Reich? Sure. Just research some burner research, do some planes. I think we really led the offensive there. We took the province, and now everyone else is kind of following along. Oh, you probably should have joined fighting one of these battalions in amongst the nationalists, but sure, we'll just we'll go on our merry way. Oh, what is this? Mutually exclusive branch. We can have dispersed factories, make them a little less vulnerable, or we can concentrate our factories, which gives us, I think, slightly higher output there. I'll concentrate my industry, more or less, because I think it's there's a level of historic flavor added there. My oh my, our forces are starting to become quite deadly. They have a lot of attacking power now, especially compared to these what do you call them? Republican Spain troops. We're about to get another veterancy level for them as well. That's quite nice. Italian highways is finished, we gain some logistics, and now we can get some oil production. That'll be nice. Try to help out our allies here by making their advance a little easier, I guess. I really do like the, you know, you can kind of play for this. Like you can actually kind of join into these foreign conflicts and actually do things. We can help them with their attack. Ooh, huh. Okay, that's why they're starting to put up a bit more of a resistance. They're Soviet troops this time. And let's see, what is this? Okay, so Nazi Germany sent one force in. I wonder, can we just pick some arbitrary war goal to make some justifications? We're going a little bit off on the deep end here, but you know, it's a test game. I want to see whether or not we can do some funky things over here and try to get ourselves something like that. See whether or not we can invade Republican Spain just for the sake of having fun. Oh, and that's right, we can deploy some more troops. So let's see, with all of these troops we can start to deploy them to Sicily, and we can get, let's see, a lot of infantry really, really fast. Yeah, so over here we've actually been steadily building up infantry for this entire time. Managed to get 9 whole divisions settled. Ah, okay, so I see. If you actually keep these troops inside the queue, I guess they get slightly more experience as time goes on. We could also try our hand at making a new unit type later on. So I think we're currently doing these Fantria infantries, engineers, and infantry is all they really have. Speaking about that, can we add some, you know, like say for example, support artillery, things like that? Yes, we can. We can also add a Battalion A. How are these two different? They're not necessarily that different, I guess. I don't know why there's an arbitrary, you know, kind of a line here, right? Either way, that's kind of cool. Okay, so the generals, I guess, just add a buff of some amount there. Cool. And we can get more things for oil like that. Huh. Triumph in Africa. If we own Ethiopia and stuff like that, we can build up our national unity, sure. Let's see, the higher the value, the more likely we are to stay in the fight, I guess, something like that. Oh, they're doing a lot of organizational damage to our troops over here. Let's take a look at what's going on inside this battle. So let's see, Russian generals are leading it, and we are defending in and lost our allies. They have lots of planes, and we're being attacked by multiple directions. Figures. Ah. Okay, so this has been going pretty cool. Let's see what this is all about. So apparently our divisions that we can send is raised up to 3 now. Oh no, Hindenburg disaster. I think currently we are already justifying a war goal on them. Is that right? Let's see. Let's see what that does. Not really sure whether or not that finished in time to actually add any help on that front. These benefits for leveling up your guys seem a little overboard. Yeah, from experience alone, we're getting a 50% bonus to fighting in this region. That is actually really helping out. I want to see whether or not we can take the capital. We seem to be doing pretty well. I hope the nationalist Spain troops will try to follow it up with us. let's take a look at this fight. How are we doing? So we're definitely pressing in here. They're just about to break from the looks of things. And the offensive coming at us is literally one unit. Ooh. Huh. They've committed a lot more troops against us. Okay. Claims on Yugoslavia. Befriend Yugoslavia. It is nice seeing that they have a lot of these different kind of mutually exclusive options that they're all done through this focus tree type of deal. I think it's pretty cool, actually. It's pretty cool. Holy. Troops are almost finished another tier of veterancy. I'm not going to be focusing so much on the tech, more or less because, again, like, we're still, for the most part, just messing around with things and seeing kind of what we can do through here. Later on, of course, you know, we might want to start to try to do something more focused, but for now, you know, I'm more or less just screwing around and seeing what we can do with a lot of this stuff. So say we just researched a whole bunch of new tech, right? I'm guessing what that means is that we can come over here and we can make a new division type of thing. It's going to cost us I guess a couple of points to redo it, but that's pretty much that. Yeah, Amelia Earhart doing the circumnavigating the globe thing, sure. So say for example we can add, yeah, some reconnaissance troops for this. And this will add, yeah, more to the reconnaissance side of our units. The ability to scout ahead and anticipate this impact will be better tactics. It'll add slightly, of course, the composition of our units. And to that we can add some artillery. These artillery provide a lot more soft attack. So if we do this, that's going to cost us 20 experience points. But it's going to make a more deadly battalion, I guess. So that's a pretty cool element. And I guess we got pushed back, but, you know, then again, taking the town is no easy thing. So overall, this has been a pretty cool, you know, little test game, really. I want to see what happens now when we start upgrading some of our units. So I think if we click on one of these guys, one of our, you know, traditional infantry divisions, they're just kind of average, right? So let's see. Can we kind of upgrade all of these guys so that we get some better equipment for them? So let's see, logistics, what is this all about? So we have a log of how many we need and how many we currently have, I guess. Let's see, produced, need, balance between the two, stored. We have a lot of infantry guns, a lot of artillery pieces stored, things like that, sure. And we unlocked some even better artillery. Average production efficiency of our lines, okay. So now what I'm wondering is, how do we, say for example, upgrade this division? Can we maybe switch it to some other form? Maybe it's through here, template. Can we change it? And we can. So say for example, if we rechange this to an Alpine unit, we're going to need some more manpower and we're going to need some more artillery pieces, but that is, I guess, how we can change our units as types, or not our types, but how we can kind of pseudo upgrade our troops by incorporating more different pieces. So that's also pretty neat. Okay, so I think we're going to restart this one more time now that we've figured out a couple more pieces of kind of just how the game functions. So to that, I want to actually do a bit of a more efficient run at this. So let's see how we do in a bit more serious type of play, right? So let's get all this stuff set back again. Let's research some support weapons. I do like the fact that, you know, from what I can tell, the game flows a little bit more faster, which is of course always nice. Synthetic oil we can actually wait on now that we know that in the future we get a nice hefty buff for taking over the, what do you call it, the Ethiopian territories, support weapons and reconnaissance companies, because we want to upgrade our troops, construction and electronic engineering, because I think we can use some of the benefits from that. So that's that, and let's take a look at whether or not we can get some oil from anyone close by enough. Iran, perfect. We'll trade with them. We'll buy our oil from them. Buy our rubber from whoever's close, really. France? No. Anyone in the Middle East? Anyone in Africa? Sure. Anyone that can supply us with some of that, sure. And right, so let's get all our factories set up. Let's get some military factories set up in this area of the world right over here, where nothing can bomb them really easily. Let's see. So I think for the future, I'm going to close all of these tabs and just open the ones that I actually need. That seems kind of like a better way to do things. So later on, I do plan on kind of re-gearing all of our forces towards artillery pieces, and you know, to that point, I think we'll need a lot more of those. So we'll do something like that. We'll import some tungsten from Argentina, I guess. And the dockyards, I'm going to keep them idle more or less because we don't necessarily have a good reason for running them. So right, so that is all taken care of. Let's get these fighters, assign them, and get them to go for the bombings. And let's just turn this into a really, really fast war against Ethiopia. We're going to get everything to just march in the general direction of their capital. Let's grab all of our guys and assign them to a leader. And I don't believe we get any new leaders here, so let's just try to level up one of our guys here. So it would be actually kind of cool to have an armor corps. I'm going to get Giovanni here the opportunity to lead this. I kind of want to build him up so that later on when the civil war breaks out, I can send my tanks over there and we can get them to train. And yeah, I guess we can train some infantry back at home. Stuff like that. And now let's see, the rest of the messages I think for the most part we can ignore. Come to think of it, with naval production, I should probably switch these on. I'll just get them to blitz producing one thing. It's probably going to cost us a lot of chrome and steel, I guess. Sure, whatever it costs. I don't necessarily mind it, of course. And it looks like Giovanni here is actually getting quite a lot of experience. Already ranked up to 5 in terms of skill. So yeah, that's kind of odd actually. That made him the most skillful out of all these commanders. Okay, and they learn traits too. That's interesting. Oh, I probably should have gotten 2 commanders to like, you know, one for the north and one for the south. That way we can train 2 of these guys and still have, you know, some sort of cohesive organization. That would be kind of cool. But that has passed. So I guess we'll just wait that out. Alright, one sec. Ah, there we go. We've taken their capital. So actually, let's take a look at the map mode from that view. I want to take a look at some of the different worths of all the different provinces. Well, not necessarily provinces, but locations. So say for example right here, I believe Kiev is worth, I guess, some victory points, yeah? And most other ports are worth nothing. Moscow should be worth a decent amount. The actual city itself, 50. So, you know, to that, what exactly determines whether or not a country will break? Ah, okay, I see. So there's a couple of very minor points scattered here and there that can be worth something. And, you know, I guess if you take them, the country breaks. And if you don't, the country doesn't. So that's, I guess how it works. There's one dot here. And I don't see any more of them. And I mean, I don't see necessarily a centralized setting for it, so maybe you do really have to start to press on some of these infantry troops. So let's actually get the entire death stack over here to come back. And push on that. We have their capital. So yeah. How is the supply situation, by the way, here? Apparently all of our troops are at decent supplies, so we don't really need infrastructure. It's kind of odd that they prompt us for it. Well, actually those troops will break really, really fast. Okay. Yeah, there we go. We break 2 units and then they're kind of gone. So apparently this treaty thing is supposed to be a bit of a little mini game, but you know what? So let's see. If you pass the round, others will be able to use their points to make demands, but you gain extra victory points to spend the next round. Sure, I guess we can pass. Is that right? Oh, I see. So we can pass and then take the state, I guess? Something like that? You've already made demands during this turn. Sure? End turn? Turn 6. Sure? Okay, so we did something. And we managed to gain some points for it, which is kind of nice. So let's see. Now we can unassign all of these troops and bring them back to the mainland, I guess. Oh, that's right. Stack them inside the port first, and then we can bring them back. Sure. Anyhow, you know the drill. Take Ethiopian war efforts, and then we can start teching up our stuff in production. And in the meantime, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab our tank corps. And I think we need 2 units for this, but we're going to make a division. Assign it to Giovanni here again. And then we will send some volunteers. We'll send two our units led by Giovanni, and whenever they arrive is whenever they'll arrive, I guess. But either way, that should add some more combat power to what we have here. April. Perfect. Our troops have arrived at the nearest port. And let's see. We can also kind of commission an exercise, but that's not really worth it. Let's take a look at our tank unit. Let's see what it really is. So they have 60 tanks, some motorized vehicles and things like that. 2 motorized infantry battalions and a light tank unit is kind of what these guys are composed of. So I'm guessing they're yeah, slightly stronger than, you know, what you would kind of see. So I guess we'll get them down to the front. And I think we'll drive these troops to kind of where they're needed, which I believe is over here. They have some, what are these? Soviet Union tanks advancing. Oh, I see, it's on the other side of the river. I wasn't sure about this. So there we go. Our tanks can resupply. Take a look at our units here. So on the defense, our tanks, holy, they are pretty strong with 200 some points of defense. I don't think anything's going to break through that anytime soon individually. Yeah, that mechanized core is just going to smolder itself on whatever it's there, really. So I think that levels up Giovanni and yeah, all of his troops, really, which is quite nice. Let's see whether or not we can kind of trap some of these troops along the coast here. Hopefully the AI is smart enough to try to encircle some of them. I guess they could get out to the port, but yeah, that's kind of that. Some more research. Modify the government so that we add a theorist, and we want somebody who's good with not mobile warfare, not that, not any of these guys. Captain of Industry would be actually kind of nice too, but war industrialist, sure. Getting some support weapons as well, and I'm gonna get them to switch into logistics, where, no, actually, we have lots of that. Let's get them to do radio research. Speeds up our reinforce rate. Perfect. Gonna see whether or not we can kind of crush this pocket. Can you still do supporting attacks? Yes, you can. Control right click. Okay, so yeah, that definitely helps out. So this would be kind of interesting if we manage to take the port city here. I don't think there's too much these Republicans can do about fleeing, right? Let's take a look at this battle. This is kind of cool. Take a look at what's happening over here. So Giovanni Messi, panzer leader with his armored divisions, and being a mountaineer, is pressing into the city. We're using 40 frontage out of 50 against that. We are the more skillful general, and we are storming them for some extra attack damage, I guess. So let's see. Tanks lead the fray with 24 attack each. They have some hard attack, but I don't think any of these units are necessarily hardened. And they're fighting 3 fairly depleted battalions. Well, no, these are still divisions. I think they got rid of battalions during the game. And hey, would you look at that? None of the none of the enemy forces can actually pierce our troops. So these tanks should eventually roll through. It's just kind of a matter of when. So this would be actually kind of a big victory for the for the nationalists over here if we're able to kill off so many troops. I don't think Britain will give them support, so I don't think they can get out once we capture the ports. Yeah, there we go. Managed to take the port city. Let's grab the tanks and let's get them to roll through. Perfect. We gained some more tech, reconnaissance, all very, very useful. Stuff like that. Let's get some basic production going. And for the next focus, let's get some, let's see, light or heavy tanks. Let's get some heavy tanks. Oh, yeah, those two attacks aren't gonna go too well. We're going up against 5 divisions with only 2. Let's see how well we can lock them up in regular combat, however. And again, I guess at this stage, I mean, once you have tanks, the enemy can't really do too much. They can do, you know, they have a little bit of hard attack, but for the most part, like that, the little bit of armor that we have is pretty much impenetrable from them. Free military factories, ooh. Right. So now that we're starting to build up some points in terms of our, military experience, let's go to recruit and deploy, and let's take a look at our base infantry unit. And let's edit this. So we want to add some artillery power to each division. And let's save that. So now let's start to mobilize, or not mobilize, but modernize the Italian military. And I think because we made the switch here, taking a look at the template, there is that extra artillery gun piece in there. So, going to military. No, I don't want to disband the troop. I think once we go to our logistics here, let's see. Yeah, so we used to have a decent amount of artillery pieces, and now, however, we need more in terms of reinforcements, because we just repurposed a lot of our troops to incorporate some new shiny artillery pieces, and actually that already pushed it to all of our troops. I didn't have to do that as a manual action, so that is very nice to know. That's very nice to see that happen. And oh, maybe if I see the the world map from over here, we can actually figure out what the heck the nationalist troops are doing. And, you know, I don't really know if our offensive is helping them out so much as their own natural progression, but we're definitely tying up, you know, at the very least 4 divisions over here, so that's pretty good. And we seem to be doing a heck of a lot. I really don't like this. When you shrink the map, they turn into individual blobs, and when you expand it, they turn into the actual unit locations. I find that a little annoying, but eh. Oh, maybe we can liquidate a couple of troops over here. That would be really, really nice. Yeah, I think this is the end of at the very least 3 divisions for them. Or no, they can enter British lands. That is not good. I wonder if you can still do the thing where, like, if you're faster than the enemy, even though they're retreating into a friendly territory, you can catch them off guard. I thought that was a pretty cool deal. Right, either way, let's get some light tanks researched, I guess. Get some Italian highways and then some other good stuff out of that. Let's take a look at Giovanni's corps over here. So he's starting to level up. We're getting some seasoned tankers, and for the most part, Italy is doing pretty well. It's doing pretty well for itself. Right, so because we have some more military equipment than what we would usually have, let's edit the infantry division once again, and let's add another section of artillery. So take a look at our logistics screen once again. We should see a bit of a bloom in how many artillery pieces we need. Yeah. And later on, we might even want to build some more tanks. Let's see, what else? I guess we'll get some mechanics, some maintenance departments. So let's see, what does this do? Helps us recover organization and makes it so that our vehicles suffer less accidents, breakdowns, and stuff like that. Being honest, I don't really know what that does. I have a very vague idea. So I kind of want to see it for the sake of seeing what it does, really. Ah, and perfect. I think we built some more factories. So to that, let's build some more factories. And right, let's assign those new factories to building up the armored core. Let's get four new factories from building that. Insufficient resources. We require steel. Lots of good stuff. Let's take a look at our neighbors. Austria can provide us with some of the stuff, sure. Tungsten, things like that. Yugoslavia has a couple of units of that, sure. Huh. Can't really get that much steel. Unless we want to go to France for it. Let's see, I think tungsten is one thing that just keeps all our factories working, but sure, we can go with that. So our production should be back up at a reasonable pace. Let's take a look at that again. Production efficiency is 50, which I think is right on the dot. Production efficiency, the cap determines the maximum value of production efficiency you can have, and I'm guessing that goes up as a bit of a gearing buff. Here, I'm gonna see what happens if I take away my tanks from the front line here. Huh, they're not gonna press out of Galbatross, so that's good for us. We can crush the nationalists. Or no, we are the nationalists. So sure, we'll get the tanks to move over there. The tech tree, I've got to say, seems to be a lot more simplified. So currently, let's see, do you want to do mass assault or superior firepower? I think we'll do superior firepower. So we'll do that. That'll unlock the entire tree for us. And over here, let's get a new tier of artillery, seeing as how we like it so much. Anti-Comturn pack, we'll join it to you know, be best buds with Germany. So during the war, we can have some more of that. Gain some Italian highways, so now we can search for the so we can try to find some oil now. And I guess, yeah, the war goes on in Spain. It's pretty successful. It's pretty successful so far. The Italian tank corps is helping roll down the entire nation. There we go, we have some veteran corps troops. I've got to say, they seem to be pressing very heavily on the veterancy side of things inside this game. with level 5 veterancy here, and you know, you like you can clearly tell from the sidebar, right? You gain veterancy pretty fast. By the time that your troops level up like this, right, you get some troops doing a ton of damage. So let's see. With the surrender of the last of Republican strongholds, the Republican Civil War has ended. Nationalists stand victorious. A new era has begun for Spain. Right. So, National Spain has been formed, and our tank corps, Condor Legion, has returned back to us. So yeah, that's kind of that. Let's research some anti-tank guns. I think that'll be kind of our next priority. And we have some more government modifiability. Let's add a chief of the army. Let's go with division speed is something that I always like to have, so we'll get that. And free factories, we will spend that into a couple more factories producing armored vehicles. Right now we really need some steel, eh? You know what, honestly, let's go to Japan. Let's buy some of the steel from Japan. They're delivering 16 out of the 16 that we need. We're a little short on oil, but our prospect for oil right there and then, we'll finish that up. And so that kind of, or no, that doesn't finish one tree, but that gets close. So we can either go for Libyan infrastructure or some more refineries, and I think we can get some refineries going like that. So let's take a look at another part of the game. What exactly does infrastructure and things like that do? So infrastructure provides improvement, increases your supply power, increases your division speed, and stuff like that and such inside the region. So far, I mean, I haven't really seen supply or yeah, that side of things being, you know, kind of a major player in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, that's kind of that. I want to see whether or not we can get someone who can help us out by getting us our industry up. And I'm not really seeing anyone who can do that, right? And okay, so I see. So we can kind of pump out things like that. Let's see. Guess we'll get industrial concern. Get some more research focused on industry. Centralize our industries. Some towed anti-air might come in handy. And I guess we'll research some new weaponry to go along with that. Oh my, these national events finish pretty fast, but in total, that chain of events, I mean, this took 140 days, and it gives us a decent amount of oil for that cost, so that's pretty good. So going from there, let's go with a Triumph of for Africa. Triumph of Africa, boost our national unity up, and gives us a bit of a bonus there. Missing equipment, we've had that for a long time. I think we're just short on, like, you know, 1 or 2 fighters. So yeah, overall, this has been pretty good. Let's take a look at some of the relational stuff that we can do here. So we can justify some war goals, we can improve our relations. Lots of stuff about sending things over here and there. So that's kind of cool. Let's improve our relations with Germany. Kind of buff that up. They have a pretty high national unity and all. And overall, I think that the time will come for that. And maybe they'll just kind of go for it. Let's see. What is this all about? Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that we don't actually lose experience over time. That would be kind of bad. Hey, there we go. Finished anti-tank guns. Still researching doctrine. Tanks we've opened up for quite a bit. Let's go with a... oh, I don't know. Signals battalion? Something like that. I want to see, you know, kind of what the... what those units are all for. I think it'd be kind of cool. But right, anyhow, let's modify our armored core here so that we have a bit more of an efficient layout. So anyhow, let's give these guys a single maintenance company. Keeps the recovery rate high. Adds a little bit to our reliability, reduces chance of breakdowns. And right, what else can we add here? Let's add a reconnaissance company. Let the tanks choose some better tactics. That's always, I would imagine, pretty useful. And let's see. So they actually have a lot of cavalry, and I think cavalry units are more or less just yeah, semi-mobilized units for our sakes. I'm gonna add some light tanks, and I guess a single unit of heavy tanks. Save that. And in our production queue, I think we'll need to start to produce some heavy tanks. So let's take a look at that. So currently we're stocking up on a lot of our infantry equipment, lots of artillery pieces, and a decent amount of motorized equipment actually. Currently though, we need 120 heavy tanks, and currently I think we have a lot of the... yeah, we're drawing on our supplies of light tanks, so we're pretty good on that. Right, so let's go with claims on Yugoslavia. So what this does is it will give us a claim on Yugoslavia, so we can start our conquests there, which would be quite nice. And speaking to that, let's cut back on our light tank production, but add to our heavy tank production. Looks like currently we need some more chromium for that to happen. Yeah, that's no problem. We can get some of that. Steel, same thing, no problem. We can increase our shipments from Japan. And we're just 1 unit short. That's not too bad. Let's build another military factory. I really do like the new system that they have for factory production. I think it's quite nice. And now we're starting to produce, you know, a couple. We're starting to get a trickle of heavy tanks here. I guess this is a kind of our armored core right now. So far the game plays pretty well. I think they've simplified a lot of things to that question. Like a lot of the research, and I think yeah, some of the elements, I mean, you know, have been like, I would use the word streamlined, but not in a bad sense. My complaint right now is like some of these so like this game runs in, you know, 920 by 1080p, right? But like the side panel here is just like huge for what it's worth, and I think they really need to offer you the ability to scale this up and down depending on kind of, you know, what your resolution is. I think that would be kind of a cool thing to have. Like it's more of a kind of a quality of life type of deal, but nevertheless, I think it might be nice. We can get some more land factories like that. Right, but anyhow, I think right now we're supposed to prepare for the invasion of Yugoslavia, so let's get something set up for that. Try to mobilize some more of our troops. Oh, and that's right. We have a lot of guys camping out in Africa. that we could use back. Or what am I doing? I should have shipped them to the port closer to the actual fighting, but sure. Right, so let's also get our planes to rebase. Let's get all of our planes set up for this war in Yugoslavia. So currently it's October. All of these guys have arrived. Let's put them on the front line. Or actually, no, never mind. I'm gonna push the tanks back slightly, and I'm gonna make a second army group for the troops arriving over here. Well, here, let's make two. I just remembered we should probably stack these up more or less so to simply train the leaders, not really so they actually fight. So we have our army groups assembled. And we should start to try to mobilize against everything here. So we want to push into Yugoslavia. Let's get all of our forces assembled on this line. And let's see. So we've already kind of set those up. Let's assign some goals to yellow and blue. So I want them to... Oh, no. How do I cancel plans? There we go, delete order. Right, because you draw the offensive front, you don't actually draw where they should go, not the path they take, but where they should end up, which is kind of a roundabout way of doing it, but sure. So anyhow, in that case, I actually want them to, yeah, you know what, sure. So I want them to advance somewhere around there. I want the corps with a lot more infantry to rotate around like that. I'm actually going to grab some mountaineers and rebase them. So let's get those troops marching across the country. And I think we'll command the tanks ourselves for the blitz of Yugoslavia. So let's see. So now we can start claiming some territory for them, for ourselves. And we can make a claim for it, which will be done in March. You know, I thought the event actually gave us the thing instantaneously, but you know what? If it doesn't have it, that's fine too. Let's see. So military factories are actually a lot cheaper than the other type of factories, but I think we'll get one regular non-military factory just because. Let's modernize our artillery. All the better. And let's see what these guys are doing. So they are actually... So the plan is... the preparation attack is actually done. So when we execute those plans, that should go off pretty well, I guess. Let's take a look at some planes. Let's add fighter production. And let's taper off of artillery production for now. Benito Mussolini angered by Yugoslavian posturing. Regardless, we must be ready for war. Sure. We are kind of already ready for that, so that's kind of kind of nice. So, 27th, let's see. For tech, you know, honestly, I don't really know what to get. I guess we'll get some new tools for whatever, really. I guess we probably should be upgrading our destroyers and our naval presence, something like that. But again, I mean, for the most part, we're just kind of testing the waters of this game so far. So, you know, each time we're learning something new, folks. We're trying to get something going with that. Let's get somebody who's a infantry specialist on our side. Bulk of our units are infantry. Either way, I think you can't really go wrong with that. Right, and our justification will be done soon enough, and then we can sick the army on everything over there. Everything over the hill. You know what, I see this cavalry unit, and this can be easily converted to a tank unit, I feel. We don't have any heavy tanks to spare, but oh well. Right, well they have time to make the switch, so we can let them build up some tanks. The Anschluss of Austria has happened, so we'll let that do its thing. How are we doing for tank production? Currently we're producing about one tank per day, so hopefully they'll finish up soon enough. And let's see, modernized artillery gives us a little bit of a benefit to producing that, to researching, and okay, so modernized army helps us research not artillery, but infantry units. Sure. How's the second group doing now? Okay, so now they're starting to get some reinforcements. They're starting to get the heavy tanks that they need and the support equipment that they need. So I think maybe that happens on month end. So let's see. So I think I think our troops have lost some experience. Two of the tank units in the fight in what do you call it, Spain have dropped down to level 3 instead of I think 5 or 4. So that said, I don't know if there's a passive decay, or maybe it's just because we upgraded their equipment and that caused it. Either way, I think we can begin the declare the war now. So yeah, we can take the claimed states. Let's do that. We declared war on Yugoslavia. Let's assign our units a region to occupy. And I'm just gonna give all of our air forces different jobs to accomplish, really. And for these guys, let's get them to search and destroy whatever they can find in the sea there. Let's get the plans rolling, slow down the game time, and let's see what we can do to blitz Yugoslavia here. So they're rallying troops into the fight here, but our forces have a slight advantage being prepared. Then again, they did entrench, so they also have a bit of a bonus. Forces are providing air support, and they seem to be doing a decent amount of damage. No losses so far on the air. Lots of guys crammed into this little tiny area, so there's that. Oh, they're actually making an attack here. Let's send up the tanks. There we go. So the front is starting to move forward. Right. Well, our troops are back at being seasoned veterans, which is all well and good. So let's pause this. Let's take a look at what we can do here. They're launching a counterattack. Okay, fair enough. Once our tank corps can actually advance, I want them to press all the way across, and I just want them to enter the capital as fast as they can. Yeah, so there we go. We have a trained unit now from green. Oh, that's right. We didn't assign these troops to the front here, so that's why. Forgot about those mountaineers. Either way, we seem to be doing a lot better than what we should be doing historically. So in the Italian theater here, 3 army divisions, and all of them are seemingly doing pretty well. Germany wants to send 6 units to help us out. We will take a corps of German troops. They can help out. Modify the government. I think I'll actually pass on that. For now, let's upgrade some other things. So, we already have a level of oh, I see. We already have these. Sure. Let's get some more development going on. Oh, I don't know. Support weapons. Sure. And what else? Mountaineers. Nah. I guess we'll research some ships. I don't, I've never been really big on the whole naval combat elements of Hearts of Iron, so I really don't know what to do for that. But I guess we'll roll with it, and we'll give them some kind of semi-arbitrary task, honestly. Okay, so Germany advanced. They managed to take, yeah, I guess Austria over with their event. We share a common border with them now. And we are pressing into the region nice and firmly. When we are almost into Belgrade properly. So I think all of our divisions are helping out defending. 2 of them are advancing, and because we have armor, and I think nearly 30% of our troops are armored, we're making decent progress. They seem to have a pretty experienced leader defending their capital. With 1 unit alone, they're holding on decently well compared to, you know, what most people would do against all of this armor. I kind of expected purple to take the river line, but no, they kind of went around like that. That's kind of cool, I guess. Let's get everyone to commit to the siege of Belgrade. Or, oh, I see. So only 2 units are actually going to be effective in that, eh? Alright, we'll get them to break off, and we'll get them to join somewhere else. So apparently we've been joined by 6 Axis divisions. I guess they're over here. Let's see, special forces and an armed effort. I'll get special forces solely for the armored portion. I actually, honestly, don't really care about the special forces. We're Italy, so you know we'll use mountaineers, but apart from that, I don't think they'll be terribly beneficial. Not for us. See a pocket of their troops being liquidated on the top of the hills, I guess. Oh, and the last siege here, come on. Yeah, there we go, we have their capital. Perfect. Right, so we just took all of this, and yeah. I think we can pass a turn here. What actually happens? Italy's turn to make demands. I honestly don't really know what happens during this minigame, but I think it's like the longer you delay making a demand, the more points you get to spend, right? And the more points you get to spend, the more things you can kind of demand for. So say for example we wanted to take all the states, right? I think we have to wait for some time, but so long as we do take the wait, we can actually absorb all of that into our country. So, you know, slightly ahistorical, but we managed to take Yugoslavia for ourselves, and I think we get all the benefits from it. So I mean, yeah, in Hearts of Iron 3, you had this whole system with managing these different states and all. So, you know, to that, we should see a boost in our, I think, in our production lines, right? Because we just took over their production lines. I think they're already being put to the use in developing planes. So, to that notion, I think that part's already handled for us. But I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Either way. Yeah, there seems to be a couple of factories here and there, so we should have some more factories, I guess. Yeah, I think we do. I don't believe we had so many factories in our service beforehand. I guess they had a lot of civilian factories, but not a lot of military factories. And let's see, we can convert the other way as well. We can convert regular factories into military factories. Oh, I see, and then the conversion takes some time. So that's going to be quite a useful feature to know later on. But for now, I guess it's kind of a minor type of deal. Alright, so that was, so this has already been, you know, quite a bit of time, and I think we learned a lot about Hearts of Iron 4 already. It seems to be, you know, a fairly promising game, but my initial impressions is that honestly, I think I think they did remove, you know, kind of a few layers of complexities for it for the sake of, you know, streamlining things by a bit. But overall, yeah, it's been very fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and if you have not already done so, please do like the video, or like the stream, I guess, and subscribe, and that'll keep you posted for future streams, including Hearts of Iron 4, Total War Warhammer, and soon enough Stellaris is a game that I've been meaning to get to, but haven't had the chance to do so. So, bye-bye for now.